Yo, what's up, Bleach fans? This is Rafael from C Manga, and I'm here to give you a review of Chapter 535, Everything But the Rain Op.8 Defenders. And as usual, it was a fast Bleach chapter, but I enjoyed it because it gave everything well, in my opinion, everything I wanted to hear. It gave answers, and the answers was what happened with, Misaki in terms of the Hollow and Isshin's Shinigami powers, and we get it all wrapped up nicely in this chapter. The beginning part was quite depressing because it showed Misaki, which I'm guessing was in her inner self or inner world, and she's basically fallen into a black hole, which is like resembled as a hollow hole, and she's accepting it as like she's fallen but she's calm. And then we see like White the Hollow, his head about to devour her. So then we go to see Urahara, Isshin and Ryukin are discussing the situation, and basically Urahara says she can never go back to normal, and basically it's hopeless in terms of her returning to being a normal human. And Ryukin thinks so there's no way of saving her. He's like, no, there is a way of saving her, but she can't go back to being a human. And then he goes on to explain what holification is, which we all know, is basically the process of when the Shinigami has hollow powers and basically develops them inside them. And he explains that it was originally made to strengthen the Shinigami, but obviously they didn't have the technology and tools to do that. But he did go on to say that he's been studying this for hundreds of years, so he knows what to do with Misaki. And he also said the way he cured people with holification, because he said it was a soul suicide. That was basically what would happen if a soul Shinigami who had basically started to holify, that wasn't healed, they'll basically implode or explode. Soul suicide. He's saying the cure to that was he took a Quincy arrow with I think it was light and a human soul, or part of a human soul, and basically said 100% of the time that cured the person, no mess ups. And he's saying obviously we use this I can't remember anyway. Yeah, so he explains that the way to save it is someone has to basically be her protector, and he's saying it's an opposite needs to basically be given to her. So because she's a Quincy, a Shinigami needs to help her. And he explains to Isshin about he's made this shell, which is the Giga, and he's saying that if he enters it, basically there's a lot of disadvantages to it, that he'll he won't be able to use his Shinigami's powers or leave his body. He won't be able to see hollows, and his soul will be tied to hers until basically her or the hollow is free, and then he'll be able to leave his body, which we know happened before when Misaki dies. That's when he can use his powers again. So yeah, basically it's like they're eternally bound by their souls. That's how strong this bond will become or something when he enters this Gigai. So he goes on to explain a lot more. I'm not going to go into that because even Isshin says the same thing. He just straight up agrees to it, which shocks both of them, because Ryukin said he's not going to give that up. Like, there's too many disadvantages. There's no way he's just going to agree to it. And he said, come on, let's get on with it. We're wasting time. Your explanations were too long. That bit did make me laugh because he runs with Ichigo so much. Like, he just straight up interrupts. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. All right, come on. And he's like, he says the same thing as Misaki, like, if I was to abandon this person, not save them, I'll feel sick about myself. But obviously this time he's saying, because she saved me, I have to obviously repay the favor. So he agrees to it. Then, like, near the end of the chapter now, we see Misaki is just about to be devoured by White inside her inner self or inner world. And just before that happens, Isshin appears and grabs her, in a similar way to how Ichigo grabbed Rukia when he saved her from the Sogyoku. And he says, hey, I've come here to protect you, and if you gotta be stupid not to see that was basically blatantly a parallel to Ichigo's rescue in Soul Society. So yeah, the deed is done, and apparently Isshin's lost these powers in this chapter. So, and he's in that Giga, and as I said, saves Misaki. But Yeah, that was, I was shocked because I thought in the last one I predicted he will lose his powers helping Misaki, but I thought it was like he was going to use Mugetsu to do it, like, because she would holofy and then he would use that and then that would weaken her, and then Urahara would use whatever Kido or whatever to revert her to a human, but she would have hollow powers in it. But no, it seemed like it was a much calmer process, and this obviously ties up everything. And I can't see there being any more chapters. Maybe there'll be one more, with Masaki and Isshin discussing the situation, and then we'll go back because this pretty much says everything now that Ichigo obviously has Quincy, Shinigami, and Hollow powers because of Masaki having them, and obviously Isshin being his father, who's a Shinigami. So everything is pretty much, as I said, wrapped up in this one, and I did enjoy that. It doesn't always have to be action as long as the content is given properly. I'm not sure what else really to talk about. I just want to know what Ichigo's reaction is going to be after this, because it's really, interesting to see how all this happened before. It's not what it originally seemed, and everything is coming to a full circle. So yeah, I did enjoy this chapter. I know a lot of people are going to be happy because there were some blatant parallels between Isshin, Misaki, and Ichigo and Ryukyo. Because I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. You got to be stupid to not see that, especially the way the whole potato sack cold and saying I've come to protect you. That was blatant as well. And yeah, and I was interested with the whole Giga thing being like a bounce, like all between their souls. That was something I wasn't expecting. So that explains why Isshin had to stay. That's another thing we know why he's left Soul Society. It wasn't to do with love, what people originally thought, even though that's what it turns into. It was basically he had no choice and he wanted to do this. So yeah, I was kind of surprised, but it was different. It was good. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now 'cause I'm just chatting rubbish. But yeah, as I said, I enjoyed the chapter. Everything got wrapped up, and now I'm hoping, well, not next week because we know it's Golden Week next week. The week after, we'll see either we're back in the present or we'll have one more chapter of this flashback. So yeah, good chapter, and I enjoyed the explanation of everything. So, what did you guys think? Did you enjoy the chapter, and were you satisfied with the whole revelation of how Misaki was healed and everything, and all this being transferred to Ichigo later? Also, if you did enjoy the video in the chat, leave us a like, sorry, because this helps us out, and also subscribe for more content in the channel, and I'll speak to you guys in, I guess, 2 weeks time.